Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. I very welcome my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? Then smash the subscribe button, and the like button, and the share button, and please do follow me on Twitter, @MoviesTVMad. Paul Pogba has spoken out, and this is what he's had to say. It's really funny, actually, because Paul always seems to say something while he's on international duty, which always stirs the old pot up. I'm at Manchester United. A lot has been said, but I haven't heard a lot of noise like I was going to leave and that I should go to this or that club. Today, I'm still in Manchester, and I'm fighting to bring the club back to the highest level. Wow, you better keep fighting, mate, because it's not working, is it? So where are we? Paul Pogba. I prefer to focus on the ball and especially my comeback. I haven't been told anything. I haven't spoken with Ed Woodward. We haven't spoken about a renewal for now. I'm in Manchester and I'm thinking about coming back to the best of my ability. Paul Pogba, Sudan, ? We all heard it. Things were said. My reply, yes, every football player would like to play at Real Madrid. It may be a dream. It's a dream for me. Why not one day? As I said, I'm in Manchester and I love my club. I'm performing in Manchester. I'm enjoying myself and I want to do everything to put the club back where it deserves to be. I'll give my all, just like my teammates. So I think, yeah, basically that's what he said. Now, I must admit, everyone's kind of losing their shit about this. But apart from saying maybe one day I'd like to play for Real Madrid, I don't think he said anything wrong or too bad. He said he's committed. He wants to take the club back to the highest level. It's obvious, look, he's only just started playing again. And so we shouldn't really expect miracles from him. And I think the problem is with Pogba, he was, as I said the other day, he was smiling after the, was it the 6-1 defeat from Spurs? And that just doesn't go down very well. And I don't think it was a case of smiling because he doesn't care. That's just Paul Pogba. He smiles, he laughs, he can't help himself. But there's a lot of people who don't like Pogba. But as usual, it's all got mixed up and confused. It's not like he's saying he wants to leave. He said he's committed to the club. He hasn't started talking to Ed Woodward yet about a renewal yet. So it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And obviously a lot of people saying, well, mate, you don't want to play for our club, just go. I think his form will be better. I just feel this is something that can be out of context. He said a lot of things, and his brother said a lot of things in the past, and his agent. But I do feel this time there's no drama here. It's nothing to get too excited about or worried about. He seems committed to the club. Hopefully, when he's match fit, he can give us a lot more than what he has been so far. But Ole has to play him further forward as well. That's, of course, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is actually going to be at the club after the international break. I have my doubts. Now, I found something extremely interesting over at the United District, which is a Man United Twitter account. Let's give this a read. Now, if we go back to their profile, you can see that they've got 43.1k followers. And so, obviously, they must be a respectable account, you would think. This is what they had to say. One source close to the players says, I must be clear, the players I speak to are never saying he's a disaster in terms of Ole. But they question whether he's a top coach. Of course, he's not. They MUFC players are worried about how things spiral after a bad result. The momentum swings too dramatically. There is a feeling the team is too dependent on players in attack doing wonderful individual things. Very, very interesting there as well. So if this is a correct source, and I have no reason to doubt them. As I say, they've got 43.1k followers, so they're no mugs. I would expect the players, just like the fans, doubting Ole and saying he's not a top manager. Then you'd ask yourself, what is he doing running this club? Why was he given a full-time contract? We've covered that this week, I think. But the thing is here, obviously there are doubts about him from the players and a lot of the fans. Not all of the fans, not most of the fans, but people are split on Solskjaer. There is this loyalty from some people because there's this fantasy, isn't there, that what if Ollie actually, a club legend, turns this around and gives us the kind of success that Sir Alex did? Well, he doesn't have the pedigree of Sir Alex. And even when you look at Moyes and Mourinho and even Van Gaal, they don't have the pedigree of Ferguson. Very few people do, of course. But they don't have the pedigree to be at this club for many years being successful. Now, you'll say to me, well, Mick, you've got to wake up and smell the coffee. How many managers stay at a club? 20, 25 years. Well, here's the thing. If the club's in your heart, like it was Ferguson, and you're successful and you keep on giving yourself challenges, I think that you could stay at a club like this for a while. But you've got to want it. So you've got to be the right man, right? Who knows, one day we may have a female manager. I really rate the Manchester United women's manager. I think she's amazing. I think she could do a much better job than Ollie at the men's team. I truly believe that, and people think I'm insane. But when I see the kind of players she's bringing to the club, right, you can see that she's no mug, and I think she could absolutely do a better job than Ollie. But that's neither here nor there. I know I'm going to get destroyed in the comments below, ain't I? But the point being, Ollie is a problem. Whether you think the Glazers and Woodward are a problem, when you look at the transfer window and you look at the fact that he wanted to shoot his load on one player for over 120 million, you have to question that. When we were desperate for a centre-back, maybe even two, the best bit of business he could have done was dump Maguire, but he wants to look like he's being loyal because Maguire's in trouble. And you don't want to look like a club that's banishing a player who's pretty much was arrested in Greece, right? He's appealing it. He's saying, oh, no, I'm a foreigner abroad. I was abused. No, mate, you're as guilty as sin. But he's sticking with Dirty Harry. There's nothing we can do about that. But I think that would change if we got a new manager. It's clear for everyone to see that this is an issue. This is a massive issue. And at the end of the day, we have to look at that and say, this manager isn't good enough. Because everyone keeps on shouting transfers, like Ed's magic transfer dust will solve all the problems on the team. And that's not the case. That Ollie has to understand, you're a coach, mate. You should be coaching those centre-backs. You should be creating a unit. Do you think Bruce and Pallister and Stam and Ronnie Johnson were automatically a great unit? No, it was about coaching. First, it was Brian Kiddo. Then it was Steve McLaren. That's what your coaches are there for. And you as a manager must be coaching them into a unit. You can't just keep on buying people and throwing them in the team and hoping for the best. And I think, as one of the players said in that anonymous source thing, it's like, we're expecting attacking players just to go out there and create a moment of magic. That's no good. There's no coaching. There's no direction. There is tactics, not very good tactics. So this is the problem. At the moment, we must focus with the problem within the team and not the club. And the team needs a good coach. And if we had a good coach, we could win games and we could be challenging for so many things. And it's really, really problematic that we're not doing that. So it was feared that Eric Bailly could have been injured for a while after playing for the Ivory Coast and seeing him on the floor. Of course, everyone exaggerated the situation, but Eric Bailly himself went to his Instagram to assure people he's feeling fine. He was just a little bit tired. So that's great. That's great news. Eric Bailly isn't injured. He's very important to the defence. Obviously, defensively, we are not very good right now. But I do believe that Bailey and Lindelof should be the partnership and not Dirty Harry and Bailey or Lindelof. There's a problem with Dirty Harry. He's got a lot on his mind after his actions in Greece. And I feel that it's very important we create a unit, and you need to coach two central defenders into playing together. We saw them with Josie in terms of Bailey and Lindelof create a unit. They were doing quite well for a time. You can't rewrite history and all of a sudden say, nah, Lindelof's shit, Bailey's shit, and all this kind of Brexit FC nonsense where you get fans sticking up for Maguire because they want this Tony Adams British Union Jack captain. Well, sorry guys, he's a spent force at this moment in time. I don't want him playing in our team. Personally, I don't want him at our club. He embarrassed us in the summer. I can forgive Mason Greenwood for what he did because he's a kid and we need him, but we don't need Harry Maguire. We need Lindelof and Bailey to work together in training to create that unity they had under Jose, to create that defensive unit that we desperately need. And, you know, people are so concerned about the status of the club and what's going on in the boardroom. People are forgetting about the team, all that chat. You know, when we were going to the build-up of the transfer window, the transfer deadline, right? You know, Sancho. But nobody actually was focusing on the football or the team. And this is where it gets a bit disruptive for me. There is a good team in there. You know, everyone says, we got crap players, our first team's crap. It's not crap. We have got some really good individual players in our first team. And what we have to do is turn them into a unit. You can keep on throwing money at it as long as you like. But if you don't create a team, if you don't create a unit, then you've got nothing. And this is the problem with Manchester United right now. This is why we're losing. Personally, as I've said, I would like Ollie to be removed within the winter break. I think that would be clean, that would be smooth, and bring in who they think they should bring in. But they have to think long and hard about this. It has to be a manager with longevity. It has to be a manager who can create a team. Ollie can't do that. Ollie isn't a good manager. Ollie's never done this before, right? You know, he's done okay at Molde. That's Norway. He relegated Cardiff. He could potentially relegate us. You've got to think about your loyalty here, boys and girls. We are in a worrying situation. Beyond Woodward, beyond the Glazers, when you look at the first team, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the answer. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with more videos. See you again soon.